Several years ago, I wanted a new vibe in my home. I'm a single mom with 2 boys, and I wanted to make this home, our home, The communication and transparency throughout the entire renovation process was A+, top notch. I have never worked with people in my home that have done renovation work that have communicated with me from start to finish. For instance, during the renovations, Colin was texting me every single evening. After everybody left for the day, he's like, this is what we did today. And then he prepped me on what was coming the next day. Tomorrow morning at 8, the electricians are coming. And then around 10, the plumber's coming, and so on and so on. And so I always knew, I just had a daily understanding of who was gonna be in my house, what they were doing, what can I expect when I get home from work and see, during the whole process. I have done multiple projects. This is my second bigger project other than my master bathroom, my kitchen remodel, my laundry room, and my half bath remodel. And it wasn't more than 2 weeks after they finished the master bath, that was my first project, that I called Richard. And I'm like, okay, time to move on to the kitchen, laundry room, and half bath, because I wanted to get the whole down, carrying on with that vibe. I wanted to carry this whole vibe throughout the first floor, And so honestly, it was like 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the next project. And that's how comfortable I felt working with them and knowing that the process was gonna be great, again. And yeah, you're putting yourself into this, oh gosh, I gotta move everything out again and live under plastic and, add that sort of thing and kind of alter your daily living. I was making my kids breakfast in the garage this morning because we had to move our kitchen stuff out to the garage. So, but it was like a no-brainer to work with them again. Like if I were to have anything done in this house again, which I'm sure is gonna happen, Enhanced Renovations would be who I'm calling, because I know the quality of their work and I know how easy it is to work with them and their process, and they're true to their word. So it was really a no-brainer. What made me choose Enhanced Renovations is Richard. My very first call, I filled out the form on the website, and we set up a time to have an intro call. And immediately, right after I got off that call with him, I said, yep, that's it. That's who I want to go with, because he put me at such ease, and he listened to what I wanted, and I provided photos of ideas, that I was going back and forth in my head about for the renovations, and he really, really just listened. And it was, he was so, I don't even know how to put it in words. He was so professional in how he spoke, but he made you feel like a friend. Like it was casual, it was professional, but it made it seem like you're sitting there and talking to one of your friends, talking about the renovation. And from there, it was just such an easy process. It started off easy, and right from the get-go, I got such a good feeling just by talking to Richard in the intro call that's why I went with Enhanced Renovations. My first impressions of the team during the consultation planning phase was professionalism. I've worked with contractors, in the past, which are by the quote meaning like these fly-by-night people that are cheapos down the street that, trying to fit into a budget and that sort of thing. And so this was my first time really working with a true general contractor to get the work done. And Richard, like I said, started off the process of making me feel so comfortable, but then started introducing me to the team, Colin, and all the guys that work on the project. And I just completely felt comfortable with them. Again, I felt like they listened to everything I talked about. They took my ideas, my photos, and they helped me gel all those ideas together. And it was so cool to see it turn into what I had in my head, because I had a vision of where I wanted it to go in my head. And then when I started seeing it unfold in the process of picking colors and this sort of thing, and they were so helpful when I had questions, because clearly I'm not a contractor, so I'm like, what do you think about this? And Colin and Richard, both of them, were like giving me the best ideas. I'm like, well, in this type of space you should go with this, and that sort of thing. And it was so cool to watch the magic happen. I can't even describe how what was in my head then came out in the renovation. So the quality of the craftsmanship and attention to detail is impeccable. It's outstanding. It was so nice to work with a contractor and work with a team that actually, because I'm a huge attention to detail person, so I'll be the first to notice when something is off, and it was just to see that it also would bother them if something was off, and they would fix it immediately. That was huge to me, because that's just who I am as a person. I pay attention to every little detail, and I know that if they walked out of here and something was a little off, it would bother me, which is what happened in past renovations. They put my light plates crooked, and it drove me nuts. I was like, and it's funny because when we were doing the project and Richard walked in for the first time, he was like, why is that light plate crooked? I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been saying that for years, and so it was nice to be on the same level of attention to detail, down to like how, I don't even know what you call it, but like how the corners come in with the crown molding. It was like perfect line, it was impeccable. It really was, their attention to detail. So my advice to somebody that is hesitant to start a renovation because they've had bad experiences with past contractors, just talk to Enhanced Renovations. Just have that initial consult and see how you feel coming off of that consult, because I was like, this is it. They've put me at ease. I know this is going to be a great process, because Enhanced Renovation says if it's not, we're going to fix it. If something were not to your how you want it, your satisfaction, we're going to fix it, and they would. I smile every time I walk in my bathroom. I love it. I just absolutely am thrilled how it came out, because it's exactly what I had in my head of how I want it to turn out, and then it became that. And so now I'm sitting there and I'm sitting at my vanity doing my hair, getting my makeup on every morning. It's like you come home now, it's not like you're just coming to a house. You come home and you're so proud of the design, what you did, how you start the design, how I started the design, and then they are carrying it out. And it's so cool to walk into a home and just feel the cohesiveness of the vibe that I'm trying to get all downstairs. And it's real. I can't describe it enough. It puts a smile on my face. I love it that much.